So this panel discussion will focus on several key topics. The first one, this is how we could make the shift from cost to value in healthcare. The second one is big data. Could be an active therapy, and the ethical aspects of the digital transformation in healthcare, and also the startup ecosystem in healthcare. This is also an important topic because all these different people, now we are creating this startup ecosystem in healthcare, and this is something that we'll need for the future if we want to deliver these really innovative solutions in healthcare. So I would like to start with Rumi, and my first question, according to you, which are the key megatrends in healthcare?
So we talk in English or Bulgarian?
It's in English. Okay. Omer is here, so we'll talk in English.
Welcome everybody once again for me too. One of the main reasons why I personally am here, and maybe most of my colleagues are here, is even though that we'll be speaking in foreign language, we are meeting daily here in Sofia, these people, we are colleagues, and we're working together on joint projects. And for me, this is a mega trend which is localized and which is happening in Bulgaria. I'm a little bit, I'll be challenging what Plamen said, even though I admire this guy and what he has done to gather all of us here. But I don't think that what is happening somewhere outside of Bulgaria is not already happening here. Because we are now co-innovating together. I never thought that, at least 5 years ago, when I was starting my career at SAP, that I will be sitting in joint meetings with Deloitte, with Novartis, with Junior Achievement, and we will be discussing building projects for healthcare in Bulgaria. So this is happening because the industries are colliding, because our life is evolving in different dimensions. Our social needs are nowadays becoming more and more requirements to the system we lived. We are becoming consumers, very sophisticated buyers of anything. Whatever we have digital in one environment, call it Facebook, Twitter, or whatever, we have it, we want to have it everywhere. And we are the same consumers which are in other countries. Believe me or not, if I ask how many of you here are having wearables from some kind of a device, maybe you say only a few. How many are? Please raise your hands. You see? You see? And next year, the room will be even with more. And you know what? This is exactly this. Maybe okay in Germany there will be more hands up, but the process is coming. And we are the consumers who are demanding companies, technology companies, pharmaceutical companies to meet and work together to bring technology here. And something very interesting, which you are going to see eventually, is not startups, local Bulgarian companies who are producing nowadays technology which is on the level of the world global technology companies. So is this a mega trend? Or can I stop here?
It's a new mega trend, but I like it very
local.
much. This is the idea. And okay. just to add something, these companies, they're recognized not just in Bulgaria, but also across Europe and US. So it's important. The innovation is happening here in Bulgaria, but maybe we don't know about it. So the idea of this kind of event is really to make you know and see this innovation here. Thank you. Omer, according to you, which is the key mega trend? You're writing a lot now.
Yeah, I've been taking notes since I came earlier this morning. So it's been incredible to observe the different technologies that are going to change the way we look at healthcare and we provide healthcare. Of course, being in a consulting company, being in a company that has perhaps the advantage of taking part in several aspects of healthcare provision, I also have the chance, to my benefit, I guess, to observe some of the risks of adapting or some of the advantages and the risks that could be caused by adapting these technologies. So from a Megatrends, I'll take a lot more of an operational approach, if you don't mind. I think,
Okay.
I think the futuristic approach is definitely the way we should go. But from an operational perspective, I see three big trends, and I think this is, from my observations, this is already happening in Bulgaria. Perhaps we need a higher speed to catch up with the development of technology, but still it's happening. So number one is the change in our perception of what healthcare is meant. When we say healthcare, what do we mean? Do we mean a pill? Do we mean a single medical device? Do we mean a hospital bed? For those who read the Financial Times, there was an interesting article in yesterday's Financial Times, one of the long stories, and the topic was beyond the pill. So we're actually looking beyond those individual elements that we have so far defined as parts of healthcare. It's not that anymore. Healthcare is actually when all of these bits come together and when they work to improve the outcomes for the patient. That's a big trend. Finding the ways these different elements work together is obviously risky. Different parties, different businesses, different stakeholders would have to work together and understand what would be the advantage to their offer to the market. The second big trend from our perspective is cost, but I would like to differentiate between what we see cost as a price of a technology. I think when we say cost, we need to define two specific items, and that's my background as an academic for 7 years at the London School of Economics was to differentiate well between what a cost is and what an outcome is. But in the end of the day, they are both provisions to the benefit of the healthcare system. So how do we understand what we provide as a result of a new technology, as a result of integration of a new technology, as a result of integrating different technologies together, and what we get as an outcome, and the absolute match between these two aspects in our understanding on how much we pay for healthcare is a major trend, and that also brings risks with itself, because we would need to define very elaborate ways of measuring both costs and outcomes, which I would like to address a little bit in my talk.
Yeah.
The final one, of course, I won't touch in a long perspective, but of course, the way that we're moving away when we say healthcare data from just the very, very well-defined definition of clinical trials or patient registries, we're moving beyond our understanding of healthcare, how healthcare could be changed, how it could be changed for individuals, for us, that's why we wear those wearables, and how it would have an impact on the healthcare provision of the future generations, so that we can fix things before the problems even occur. So those are the three big trends, and how they are going to change the way we understand healthcare organization is the big trend, and I'll hopefully address some of those in my talk in the coming few minutes.
You've gone almost through everything, so... Okay, but Stamen, according to you.
It's very difficult after this good analysis which were said to speak about the mega trends. But I've been in medicine for 25 years and 20 years already in the industry, working most in oncology. What I see as a mega trend is the big investments coming in the oncology field and other fields where there is no medical practice and where there is no treatment for the patients. And I expect in the next 10 years to have really solutions for patients, which will be not only pill, it will be beyond the pill, like Dr. Saka said. And these solutions will come here. They will come in Bulgaria. Bulgaria will not be too late after the world because of the digital technologies and because of all the other industries which are here. So we are not anymore the pharmaceutical industry that is only communicating with the physicians, with the pharmacists. We need to broaden our vision and to be together with other partners. And of course, our main partners are the medical specialists, but we need to work with all the stakeholders in healthcare in order to change it. And to move from a cost of a pill, or cost of a vial, to cost of an outcome. That's a mega trend which I foresee. And for sure, we will have big success after doing that in the next 10 years. I believe that.
Thank you very much. Oncology is a key field, and the innovation session after the panel discussion, we have two main topics. One is oncology, and the other one is cardiology, because these are the two fields where we have still many issues and still, unfortunately, many deaths there. So, Milena, according to you?
Well, I think something that maybe was not said yet, but to me, one of the biggest trends in healthcare is that healthcare is no longer just related to people from the medical profession and to patients. It is expanded because healthcare is starting to mean much more than just taking care when you get the symptoms of a certain disease. It is turning into how we change our lifestyle, how we actually do more preventive things to avoid the big illnesses, and how we focus together with the customer on creating a better environment for all of us. So I see actually a great opportunity for healthcare to open up and to be the real next space for innovation or for real work of the people. And paradoxically, when we've been talking about the new professions, it turns out that the professions of the future, some of the professions of the future, are related very much to the caretakers or to the people who are not going to be the most specialized doctors, but people who will be giving care at home or who will be monitoring or advising. So there is much more space for these new professions, and in fact for more entrepreneurs and innovators, and for people to be working in a new way even in that industry. So for me, the biggest, actually the most amazing and potential growth in that sector is that it is opening up for life for everyone in every field, in every profession to be excelling there.
You raised also a very important question about prevention. And nowadays they're talking not only about precision medicine, but also about precision prevention and personalized prevention. So this is also an interesting trend that we could focus in the future with all the activities we are planning now. And my main question, which according to me is the most important, regarding these megatrends, how we can have them here in Bulgaria right now. Rumi?
Again, the localized story. One thing that popped up in my mind, of course, wellness as a new term. It's not about healthcare, it's about wellness. It's something that bothers us, and we will be more and more living in a time where we will start to take care for ourselves, for our health. Because that's life. The predictions around these megatrends are obvious. In 30 years, will be 9 billion, then it will be 7, 2 billion will be over 60 years, and you know, the trend is obvious. We will have a huge population. We will have a huge population which has to take special measurements in order to take this, how to say, to prevent the chronic disease, to take care for the chronic disease. And in order to survive and live healthy life, everybody will take ownership. And this is the whole thing about the biggest trend, which I really want to strengthen and to put an emphasis that is happening here. This is ownership of your own health, ownership of your own environment, ownership of the ecosystem, and changing the ecosystem. Because in technology is giving us one instrument, ladies and gentlemen, and this instrument is called transparency in the system. Transparency in the system means you are developing or collecting, you are a source of data. You are a mega data source. Each one, single one of you. Every single day, you are making choices. Based on these choices, you are already developing your own history. Whether you decide to share this information, it's up to you. But if you know that based on this information that you are developing on a daily basis, you can have a help, somebody to give you advice, and this help could come from a model which is built on top of your behavior. And you know that based on this model, you will take an action which will make you more healthy. Will you do it? You do it. So it's a natural processes which are happening locally. It's a natural processes which are happening on the personal level. And these are processes when all of us will become very much demanding towards the whole environment, publicly, and the whole healthcare system, where we will demand the same transparency which we have about our own needs and about all our own information that we are creating towards the whole environment. And transparency in the healthcare system is the major thing to which all of us are trying to work. And this is the mega trend that is going to affect the well-being of us.
Okay. Omer, I see that you want
Again,
to say.
I think from the big idea to how do you operationalize it, I think we're having a good duo here with you, Rumiana. So 3 things you need, and you have some of those in Bulgaria, some of them, just like in the rest of the world. I don't think Bulgaria is any way behind from the rest of the countries in Europe. You need ideas, but you need ideas that are thought through, that are ideas that have been inspected in order for them to be adapted. So I work in my day-to-day job. I work, of course, quite frequently with companies such as Novartis, but I also spend a lot of my time, because of my personal interest and because of the nature of the work I do, with a lot of smaller startup companies. The biggest gap I see in the technologies that make it and technologies do not make it, and you know, 90% do not make it, is not being able to assess the adaptability of the ideas into the real world environment. That is a very, very crucial thing. This practicality, this practical thinking of understanding the incentive structures, understanding the risk structures, and how a technology could be enabled, that's number 1. Number 2.
And what is the solution according to you to this issue?
To work with Deloitte, I think, would be one of the good solutions here. But no, I mean, jokes aside, I think a lot of the technology holders, a lot of the innovative companies, they focus so much on the nature of the technology, they sometimes forego the actual limitations in the systems that will prevent or cause an impediment on their adaptation. They do not inspect sufficiently on the financial incentive structures. They do not spend sufficient time understanding where they can find the partners. An idea will not be adapted as a big bang. I mean, there's always Ubers of this world that could be taking over in 6 months' time, but most of the ideas do not happen that way. Most of the ideas take a while to be implanted and to be expanding.
I don't agree. Okay. I don't agree, and I will tell you why. Because for companies like SAP, we will be software company. We will provide the platform, but we will invite the not companies. We will invite doctors together with startups to build applications. And this is happening. You will be seeing a presentation, not presentation, you will see an actual demonstration of a product which was developed by doctors together with startups. What is happening, again I'm saying, this is transparency but also efficiency in the system. No longer an engineer should develop an app when he does not know how for healthcare, when he does not know how to treat a patient. We will provide the tools, the instruments, so that you have the biggest technology which is providing you real data to be processed. But that's it. On top of that, it is the industry, the people, the healthcare industry that has to build the apps. And I can tell you that this is happening in Sofia. And I'm very proud that we'll be seeing this later.
Me too. And this is something very important that Rumi said. We can't create a solution for the patients and for the physicians without them. And it's also important for all the IT companies that are here and that want to do something in healthcare. Without the physicians, without the patients, you can't create solutions for them. Sorry for that, but it's the truth. Stamen? Or?
I will comment on what we need to do in order to make it faster, to make it here. I think that we need to look for more collaboration with different companies to go out of the pharmaceutical industry. We need to keep our close partnerships with physicians and to use our close partnership with physicians to integrate new kind of companies into this world between us and physicians. And this is how it started. Actually, last year, I was looking at the Davos World Economic Forum in my iPhone, and I saw that things are moving in oncology in a quite big direction. And I saw the SAP part of the board of all the people, all the KOLs from the biggest oncology institutions in the United States, sitting together on one table looking for a solution with this big data. And then I said to Rosen, we need to find a way to meet with SAP here in Bulgaria. They're here. They are not only in the United States. So
We met Rumi
and this is how it started.
1 year ago.
So I think we need to collaborate more. And in order to collaborate more, we in Novartis, in pharmaceutical industry, we need to look for this kind of mindset, to be open to other kind of work, not only selling the pill. Selling the pill is one thing, but beyond the pill comes the outcome. And in order to have an outcome and to measure that outcome, you need companies like SAP, like IBM Watson, like other companies I will not mention, but these guys are working. They have their business model. So that's why we need to be together. And we need to look for this mindset. And I will be looking myself for this kind of mindset in my people about that. So this is what I will do.
And companies like Novartis, I will add.
Maybe, yeah, but maybe they are some better than us. But anyhow, we are here now.
Mila?
Well, I will maybe take you up on what you just said with the collaboration, and I will add to it that we are, in fact, forming a community. And today we will show how you can join and become part of this community, because nowadays the hot word, of course, is entrepreneur and community collaboration. But this is for real, and what it means is through the support of and joint efforts of established companies and their, main expertise in a certain area, we would like to approach this in an innovative way. Approach it in a way that didn't exist up to now. And what we decided to do is to set up that community where people of all spheres of life, it doesn't matter that they are not medical professionals or they're not working in the hospitals or they're up to now are not so knowledgeable in that sphere. Because nowadays we're all, as we said earlier, consumers and producers of these products, and we all will be needing those services. So to me, of course, when we talk about solutions, I always bring up education because I'm a very strong believer in this. But I think we need to start from there because we need to show to all of the growing professionals and practitioners of the future that this is a question of choice, where they move and what they do, and it will be a question of their decision, their attitude, how they can make their contribution to that sector. Because healthcare is not something that is outside of us, it is part of our life, as we said earlier. So,
yes, everyone is a potential patient, so we have to consider this always.
And the potential maybe doctor of themselves.
Yeah.
Just a small addition. As you know, I'm going more towards the operationalizing of these new ideas. It's absolutely phenomenally important that the collaborations are existing, because from my very direct observation, when we bring new ideas on how new technologies, new markets could be put into good use in the market, if you work with a single organization on their strategy, it's a lot more difficult than if you bring two organizations together, because they can actually close the gaps that they may have. They are also challenged by each other. They're also more warming up to the idea of bringing something to the market. So actually, it's a lot easier to think of newer ways, newer methods of allowing technologies to have market access. The one little challenge, the one little impediment that we always have to be aware of, and that's going back to the point I made earlier on, we have to exist within a certain infrastructure of legality, of regulation, and of whatever the governments allow us to actually act upon some of our ideas. I'm not going to say we are always limited by what the regulation and legality is, because we can expand that legality by providing the availability of these new technologies to government agencies. But it's very crucial to build a trusting infrastructure so that these collaborations actually provide something that is thoughtful, that's thought through, and that's going to have an impact on the outcomes. I think a lot of the failed attempts do not disregard, but do not spend enough time on understanding that duality.
I just wanted to say that we need to convert them to our way of thinking of the regulatory system. Because there is no other way. If we don't convert them, there will always be an obstacle. So we have to see them as collaborators.
I promise to Rosen that I will give to the audience comfort when it comes to data and data protection and regulations. Ladies and gentlemen, again, don't worry. There is a EU regulation. It is called European regulation GDRP. Okay, whatever. It is global regulation for personal data, which is coming enforcement May 2018, which is next year, in 1 year. Don't worry, these are global EU regulations. And these regulations have one thing very important. These are pervasive regulations. For the first time ever, the right to choose, the right to delete your information, the right to be forgotten will be provided by, if you are EU citizen, this is going to be provided to you. If you have such data, it is going to be provided to you. The regulations are so demanding, ladies and gentlemen, that even today companies, any company who is working with not with a prescription, but if you have a purchase order with somebody, it already has personal data. But don't worry, technology companies are thinking about it. So, in 2018, we will be providing you solution to protect your data. There will be possibilities, rules, software that will allow to tag your personal data, to delete, to get the right to delete it, or to block it, or to forget about it. So, your data will be protected. And thankfully, there are EU regulations for this, and this is going to happen also in Bulgaria. And technology companies will be taking care for your data. So, when we talk about regulations and technology, we are more or less, preparing for what is happening. And what is happening is you need to make choices in 2018 about your personal data when it comes to healthcare. And this choice is your own. How you use it and how you use it to serve you in the system. But again, I'm really very, don't want to get in a direct discussion with Deloitte and Umar, who is probably not the only Bulgarian in the discussion. But I have, a confidence that we here locally are sophisticated buyers living in a EU country, and we will be the same buyers and having the same requirements towards what is happening in any country in European Union, and we will be given this right by the technology, by the producers of pharmaceutical products, by the doctors, and we will have the same right. It is going to be our choice how you utilize this right for the better serve of everybody. And this is also, this is a megatrend which is already serving us, and we have to feel prepared and confident.
Now I feel better. Okay. Thanks. Omer, yeah.
I don't want to be misunderstood. I don't think regulation is an old-fashioned word, but let's be aware of a few things, and I think that's important for the audience to understand as well. On a macro level, we are moving, and I think you've mentioned this earlier on, some of the speakers earlier on mentioned it too. On a micro level, we're moving towards beyond the pill anyway. What does that mean? The regulators are asking us, well, you've done this clinical trial, you said you're going to reduce hospitalization by 20%. That's a clinical trial. Now show me in real world that this is happening, and I will pay you the money that will grant you that reduction in hospitalization. And you come to that point. You ask yourself as Novartis, George Jimenez, your CEO is asking himself, how do I make sure that this 20% reduction is recorded the right way. Now, technology can solve this. I'm not saying it can't. All I'm saying is the perception of how this specific data will be recorded is not very straightforward to come by. So I'm saying there are risks that we're taking by moving towards a beyond the pill type of an organization. There are risks we're taking when we convert our hospitals from being singular silo type of healthcare delivery centers towards more holistic, following the whole welfare of a patient type of organizations. Unless we consider those in advance, there is a risk that we will be ending up with outcomes that are not things that we have not foreseen. Sometimes they're going to be great, beyond what we've planned, a lot better, but sometimes there's going to be risks. And that's all I'm saying is regulation is not the only risk, is those have to be thought through is what I want to do. So I don't want to be misunderstood.
Yeah, in fact, you answered my next question, which is regarding the outcome of the care. And nowadays everyone is talking about this big data, and you mentioned the big data, and the data, and the data, and the data. Do you think that we could have this big data, Romy? We could have this big data solutions here in Bulgaria, in the way they have it, for example, in the United States or in some centers in Germany? I mean, in healthcare.
I have already mentioned it last year, the first time you had this forum, and we showed you a very nice product. I think that you see the evolution of this product and a number of other products, which will be shown eventually here. You have to be brave. If somebody in the room has an idea about healthcare, about solving a problem, please really reach out to us. We have a data specialist sitting in this corner from Deloitte, and we have a platform person from SAP. So guys, raise your hands. So these are your guys. So if you have an idea about something which is very particular to the way of you work, you operate, you want to improve the system, you want to improve the environment where you live and your personal day of living, please share this information with us. We will provide you access, we'll provide you free access, HANA Cloud Platform, to test whether really your business idea in real time can be a business case. Eventually, you have to work with the ecosystem, with the doctors, with the practitioners in this room to understand where there is a need, such need, and to develop a relevant business case. It might turn out that, yeah, this is not working, but this is also important to keep on trying because the thing about technology and about big data is really simplifications, which are going to provide the efficiency in the system, which are needed. This healthcare system everywhere in the world is practically dead. It's a very strong statement, but the only way is through efficiency, which technology can bring. This is not only about Bulgaria, believe me, it's everywhere in the world. Efficiency can be brought only by technology.
I agree with that. And do you think now we have these spots of innovation, let's say? Do you believe that this could be done also on national level here in Bulgaria?
We have this discussion with you before. I don't want to repeat, but I believe that the system can be changed not from top down, but from bottom up. Okay. Because where we are, can produce change and can be the change, and I'm seeing it. So maybe we are exhausting the audience, or what we're now doing, making the teaser for what is coming after us.
We are very close to the last question. We are very close to the last question, and we will go with the innovation session. Okay. Omer, again,
no, I don't have to intrude. It's just such an exciting and lively conversation. You said outcomes. I just have a few things to say about the outcomes. I think it's also very crucial to understand what outcome we're targeting to get. I think data, the way that we have started collecting data, the way that the digitalization is going, the way that some of our colleagues is doing predictive analytics, it's going to end up giving us all sorts of different outcomes that we have not even configured or we haven't even thought of at the beginning. But that's not, unfortunately, going to create a better healthcare system unless we have in advance put forward as an objective as to what we're trying to achieve. Is it the 20% reduction in hospital admissions with Entresto? Or is it the reduction in cardiovascular events? Or is it the introduction of therapies that will allow elderly patients? Obviously, Bulgaria, you have an elderly population problem. Is it to integrate these people to the workforce more quickly? If we do not choose the target that we're trying to achieve in advance, which does mean collaboration is good, but collaboration has to be thought through. It has to set the objectives in advance. It has to have health economists who are going to give advice on how these outcomes could be measured in a most accurate and robust way. Then the technology will enable, and it's going to happen, no doubt. But I don't think it's going to happen without considering what we're trying to achieve.
Okay, and my last question to Stamin, yeah.
I think it's very relevant to say that in order to get answers to all that, I think we need here on the stage, we need a patient and we need a physician. And in reality, what may happen, and I'm advising you because we as a pharmaceutical industry, we are working with physicians every day. You as companies which enter into healthcare, you need to go there, you need to listen to physicians, you need to listen to patients. And I think then you will have a very good solutions because it will be the real bottom up. Because one person cannot invent something when he doesn't see the reality. And the reality is there. It's the patient and the physician. And it's every day, everywhere in the hospitals around us. So that's it. That's from my side.
And my last question to Milena in order to close this panel discussion about the ecosystem. Are you sure that we could have it, this startup ecosystem in Bulgaria? Because you have, I think, good examples.
Yes, yes. I think we've been talking, and this whole forum is related to having such an ecosystem, but I wanted to add a couple of points to the previous topic. And the fact that we are used to perceive that this is not a space where we can do something about it. And we often complain about the healthcare, we complain about the regulatory system, and I think we need to change the approach. And one of the ways to change the approach is to work with these, first spring birds, with these islands that want to create that change, that are interested in this, that believe. And this is what we are trying to do. We are creating programs in universities in the country, working with faculties of biotechnology, faculties in medicine, and I would like to encourage all, I see some of our students here, I would like to encourage you to really seriously consider that this could be space for you. And just like the IT sector really grew up from that innovation and energy and spirit invested in it, this can also change. And in fact, it will need all of us in order to change. Because I still hold my ground on the fact that we do not want to be patients in that system. We want to be caretakers, and we want to really see our lives more as lives of well-being rather than being treated as patients. So I hope I will be able to show, just in reality, demonstrate where we started. But thank you to all of you who are here today, because I think this is the first step.
Yes, I believe in that. And just for the audience, JA Bulgaria is really an institution in education, but not only. Now they're becoming also an institution in startups. So thank you that we have you here on the stage.